I wasn't sure what to make of Hulu's The Bear at first, which explains why I am a little late jumping on the bandwagon here. But after seeing it marketed by The Guardian as a summer feel-good, I just felt this Kitchen Confidential dramedy wasn't for me. And boy could I have been more wrong. Taking a chance on this unusual chef-led drama turned out to be one of the best decisions of my entire year, though I do struggle to see how anyone can call it feel-good. While I can see that in the early episodes of season 1, there's definitely a feel-good light vibe, the more we get to know the characters, the bear gets darker and darker, which is actually kind of cool. By the time I shut off the TV last night, having viewed the finale of season 2, I was so depressed, but also so deeply excited because the bear has got the best writing you'll see on TV this year. And while much is rightly said about Jeremy Allen White and Yvonne Moss-Bachrach's characters, I thought I'd take a look today at the specter that haunts this charming, dysfunctional drama, Mikey Berzatto. Having taken his own life after a long struggle with addiction and depression before the start of season 1, Michael Berzatto hardly appears in the first 2 seasons of the show. Yet John Bernthal's presence on the screen couldn't loom larger. When asked their favorite The Bear scene, many will point to the flawless season 2 finale. From Carmi's dysfunctional on and off relationship with his love interest Claire, to Richie's immortal...
Richie, baby, you just came from a funeral?
Yeah, funeral of all my enemies. No, I wear suits now, T.
The season is packed with quotable, memorable shots. Yet for me, the scene that most stands out is actually not in the finale, but in the hour-long episode 6 named Fishes. The Christmas-themed flashback episode provides the viewer with their first real glimpse into Michael's character. What we know until that point about Michael is basically hearsay from season 1. We know he's insanely charismatic, that everyone wants to be his friend. That much is attested by both Richie and Carmi's memory of him. We know that by evidence of his addiction and his haphazard way of managing the family restaurant, he is erratic, unpredictable. We know he's self-destructive and struggles deeply with emotional closeness. That much we can tell from his difficult, often strained relationship both with his mother and with his siblings. What we don't know, however, what most of us don't realize about people struggling with depression and addiction is the shame. In Fishes, which is an extremely loud, all-over-the-place episode, there is this wonderful morsel of quiet between Carmi and Michael.
Oh, Connie, that's
It's like a little bit rough, but I don't know. It's something.
No, man, it's beautiful, Connie. That's perfect.
Yeah, Mike, we could do this, you know? Yeah.
Let her rip.
Yeah, let her rip.
Yeah, Carl.
Carm, where the fuck are the saltines?
Get the thing with the cracker.
Mike.
Yeah. All right.
So in this scene, Carmi presents his brother with a Christmas gift, an illustration of the bear, the restaurant they could be running together, their dream restaurant, and Carmi leaves after Michael promises he'll think about it and get back to him. And once left alone, Mikey breaks down into tears. Hauntingly etched on Bernthal's face is a look of such hopelessness, such desperation as he struggles to contain his feelings so that the rest of his family won't notice and be alarmed by them. Possibly already struggling with drug abuse by this point, Michael plunges instantly into such an intense fear that he can't control his reactions. And it's clear this isn't the logical, calculated fear of a rational adult. It's not questions like, can we do this, or is this financially responsible? No, it's the fear of failing, of hurting the people you love the most. It's one all too familiar with people who struggle with addiction and with mental health issues. It's the deeply ingrained sentiment that loving you can only hurt other people. And it's the reflection of someone who is so deeply damaged here, who thinks so little of himself that it leaves the viewer gasping for breath and for tears as they struggle to regulate their own emotions. For me, it was a scene that left me wondering, okay, how did you know about that? Because it's something that just strikes home, you know. That's my favorite bear scene, definitely. The entire episode alone is enough to cement the bear as one of the best episodes, the best series in television for me. And let me tell you, when I started watching the episode, I really hated episode 6. I thought it was this boring, light-hearted, star-studded filler episode, really, until I realized it was meant to be annoying. Then that was exactly what the Berzatto family was feeling during that Christmas, that they couldn't wait for the whole thing to end, that it was a very oppressive episode, you know. I'm sure you felt it too while you were watching, and it was just getting me down. And coupled with all the lighthearted moments and the guest appearances from Jamie Lee Curtis to Bob Odenkirk to John Mulaney, who for me was a great surprise. That was enough to keep you distracted, and I thought that was the point. That was all they were doing. But actually, this episode is a monolith of such profound tragedy that you just gotta take a moment and sit and stare into space when it's done, you know. The episode closing scene pits Michael against his uncle, Lee, Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul. With Mikey throwing forks at his uncle, despite ruining everybody's Christmas.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine because this guy's nothing and he's nobody. And I know you're scared and you're afraid, aren't you, Michael? And Michael, I don't know what the fuck you're on, but whatever it is, if you can hear me through the fog, throw another fork at me, you're gonna get fucking rocked.
Hey, Petey. You think I could just, borrow that for 1 second? I just want...
Michael,
Mike,
hey,
come on.
Michael,
Put the fucking book down.
Michael, please don't do this. Michael, hey. 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 I love you. Okay?
This scene serves not only as a window into Mikey's self-destructive tendencies, but also as an ominous foreshadowing of what's to come. Because gathered around the table, all the people who love Michael are begging him not to throw that fork, which is a clear metaphor not only for his addiction, but also ultimately for pulling the trigger on himself. And they ask him not to do it, not just because it would ruin the moment, but also because they genuinely care about him. They can see him struggling in this scene and they're saying, please don't do this, please let me help you. And in the end, Michael can't help himself and he throws the fork. Sometimes the people who love you best can shout it from the rooftops and it's still not enough to save you. And for me, this was such a beautiful way of transposing that into film. Fishes also contains fascinating insight into Mikey's relationship with Bachrach's Richie. I think it's fair to say that Bachrach owned season 2 of The Bear with his riveting performance and his quest for meaning. Richie ain't never been a good at anything. He's not the handsomest, he's not the brightest, he is easy to put down as this sweet, chaotic, volcanic guy who just tries, you know? But I think that's doing the guy a disservice. What's worth remembering about Richie is that he is not just a guy dealing with the grief of losing his best friend. He is someone dealing with the guilt of not managing to save his best friend. And we get to see the full weight of that in season 2. Throughout Fishes, the glimpses Richie steals towards Michael are filled with this adoration, this loyalty, this haunting love. When Michael jumps to attack his uncle in the episode's ending, it is Richie who jumps between them first and tries to stop him. He is the first one in there. He is in a show dealing with suicide. It's very easy to focus on the surviving family members as the frontliners of grief. We've got Carmi's grief and sorrow, which is beautifully portrayed in the finale of season 1, which was superbly understated and what made me first fall in love with this series.
And the more he wouldn't respond, and the more our relationship kind of strained, the deeper into this I went and the better I got. And the more people I cut out, the quieter my life got. And the routine of the kitchen was so consistent and exacting and busy and hard and alive, and I lost track of time, and he died.
Natalie and Donna's struggles are also quite clear, yet where are best friends supposed to go after a death? In season 1, Carmi tells the story of worshipping his brother, and that story holds true in season 2. Yet, as the episode progresses, it becomes clear that Carmi is just a holiday maker in his brother's tragedy. He's home for the holidays from his fancy restaurant in Copenhagen. He is trying to connect with Michael in his own way. He sees that Mikey is deeply dysfunctional, that he's deeply hurt, but at the end of the day, Carmi is leaving. He leaves the cupboard, leaving Michael to cry all alone. He is leaving for Copenhagen in a few days, whereas Richie is staying. And he's not only staying, you know, he's enduring this pain and this tragedy of watching your closest friend, perhaps his only friend, struggle with addiction and with his mental health and just slide down this path of self-destruction. You all will leave, but I'll be here with him tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. That seems to be the look on Bachrach's face during Fishes, and it's such a haunting, epic, desperate testament to what it is to watch someone struggle as you stand idly by and can't do anything about it.
Tough Carmi.
You would be able to pay for your fucking life or your fucking kid, you fucking loser.
Want to talk to me about my fucking
you
kid?
Fucking loser.
Yeah, at least I got a kid.
Fuck
You don't
you.
have shit.
Fuck
You don't have
you.
fucking shit.
Fuck
Where were
you.
you
You're
when
not
we
my
fucking put your
family,
fucking
alright?
brother in the ground, you selfish piece of shit?
You know what? You're obsessed with my
Fuck
family.
you.
That's what you are.
Yeah,
You fucking
I'm
leech.
obsessed with you.
You're a fucking
Yeah,
leech.
I'm obsessed
You
with
fucking
you.
leech.
Yeah.
I should have cut you
I
the fuck
fucking
out.
love you.
I
because
should have cut you the
fucking
fuck
love
out.
you.
Where were you when I put your brother into the ground? Richie shouts at Carmi during the season finale, bringing us to the meat of the problem. Because while it is the entire Berzatto family that is struggling with grief, it is only Richie, the only unofficial member of the family, who felt the full brunt of Michael's trauma. And that was an extraordinary episode. Fishes is phenomenal because it gives us major insight not only into Michael's character but into Richie as well, and to a lesser extent into Carmi and Natalie, which I loved. I'm going to do an episode about Natalie Berzatto as well, and possibly Carmi and Richie, but I'm not sure. If you are interested in that and watching me nerd out about my favorite TV shows, about script writing, and about major character arcs, please feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment, or even subscribe. I would hugely appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.